yeah, no, they did a lot with in terms of what's it called? They did a lot in terms of things that I thoroughly enjoy about the about this game that I don't really get to talk too much about because I was so busy being angry at the game because of the stupid things that kept getting in my way all the time. But now that I have the opportunity to talk about them, I will. And not only do I enjoy the not only do I enjoy the graphics in the game, which are sublime, oh my freaking god, the music in this game, for some strange reason, the early days of the Wii, the Wii games had phenomenal scores. I know Twilight Princess was originally released on the GameCube, but I count Twilight Princess as one. Mario Galaxy obviously has one of the greatest video game scores of all time. You have this, which has a great score. You have Mario Super Sluggers, which has a great score. Mario freaking Sports Mix has one of the greatest freaking scores of all time. This not even just that, like all of these games just randomly in Wii's initial few years had phenomenal scores. And that's a testament to just the sheer determination that these guys have for making the greatest games they possibly can. And I love them for that. Like I said, that's just naming the first few that come off the top of my head. Super Smash Brothers has a phenomenal score when it does its original compositions. Even if it's compositions based on the games, if they don't rip it directly from the game, I count it as an original composition. So many freaking things in that game in the freaking Wii are just so good, and Mario Kart Wii is no exception. Even the redone scores from the games here are from the retro cups are still freaking phenomenal. I know some of them feel like they're just directly ripped from them. Like this Delfino Square here, it feels like it's a it feels like it might be retreaded right from the DS, but even if it is, that doesn't mean anything bad. But like, look at the retreads for scores of like Bowser's Castle 3, like the one from the GBA, or the Mario Kart, the OG Mario Kart theme from 64 that was done for Mario Raceway. And then you get to the original compositions: Toad's Factory, Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall, DK Summit. All of these freaking beautiful scores and themes. Guys, I love the score for this game. And even if some elements of this game are not as good as I remember or just downright frustrating, I enjoy the living crap out of some elements of this game. I love the characters, the amount of characters that you have selection for. I love so many elements of this game that I just wish that the elements that I don't like were just done a little bit better. Or at the very least, were done in ways where I wouldn't have to just be sitting there, like, cursing myself out for not enjoying it, you know? Because I want to enjoy games that I play. I don't go out of my way to play bad games. I was actually got into this conversation with my girlfriend while I was trying to beat Mario Kart Wii yesterday. I'm like, I don't intentionally play bad games. Like, I don't go out of my way to find a bad game and then play it. Believe me, I work at basically at a thrift store, so I know bad games when I see them. They're the games that will sit on the shelf for months that nobody buys, and then we have to get rid of them because of inventory issues. And yeah, I don't freaking. I get to see bad games aplenty that don't get sold, but then I'll get games where they'll fly off the shelf the minute we put them out. Like even used copies, like a used copy of we had one guy, not like several weeks ago, drop off like a ton of PS1 games. And of all shapes and sizes, like you had Spyro, you had Crash, you had Tomb Raider, you had Metal Gear, you had the original Grand Theft Auto, you had so many good games, but then you had the duds. You had like that Star Wars Soul Calibur game. What is it? Not Soul Calibur 4 with Star Wars characters, but was it Masters of Terras Kasi or something like that? Where the lightsaber just basically acts like a baseball bat the whole game. Where you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna Wiggler. Where the frickin' lightsaber acts like a baseball bat half the time. It's just like... And then there are games like, friggin'... There was a Peter Pan game, I think it was, that was there. But then you'll get times where you'll get like a lot of shovelware from DS and Wii. You'll get dropped off like the Brain Academy game. My Kitchen and all that. But then you'll get games that get dropped off like Mario Galaxy and friggin' like just friggin' amazing games that you don't ordinarily get to see because they usually get gobbled up. Like when I found that wall of N64 games and bought them at work, oh my god, I was the happiest person in the world. And Mario Party 4, of course, I got there. So, like, I don't intentionally play bad games. Like, I'll say, the worst video games I've ever played are ones that I've owned, or I've rented from the library, like Blockbuster back in the day. Like, I've mentioned it before, Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island is one of the worst video games I've ever played because Nicktoons Unite, for it being a game that really wasn't that polished, it does so many things right that, like, I'm absolutely baffled that there are people out there that don't like the game. Like, granted, it's a very clunky game, but for the elements that work so freaking well that it's, like, almost insulting, actually. But Battle for Volcano Island, I literally think Mild and I beat in an hour on one day. Like, we sat there and we just beat the game. Like, we didn't really care. And they didn't, and if we didn't care, then it shows that the game creators didn't care. We spent more time just putzing around playing games that night than we did playing the game that we actually wanted to play. We spent more time just pissing around on Melee than we did anything else. But that's one of the worst games I've ever played. Friggin' the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Falsebound Kingdom is one of the worst fully functioning games I've ever played. Simba's Mighty Adventure is one of the worst games I've ever played. I don't, like, intentionally go out of my way to pick up bad games. Like, what was that game that got really bad reviews? Cyberpunk 76 or something like that? That came out and everyone was making fun of it when it first came out. It was like glitchy as all hell. Yeah, I don't go out of my way to pick up bad games. I don't go out of my way to pick up friggin' like a game that I know I won't enjoy. Like, I played the original Destiny when it came out, and I loved it. But I've heard nothing but mixed things about Destiny 2, so I'm like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to get it. I've played the Uncharted games. I love the Uncharted games. But I don't play them that often, so I basically don't keep them. Like, there are bad games in every franchise. Crash Bandicoot, for example. Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, has a ton of terrible games. But I don't own them. I don't go out of my way to own them because I'm not a masochist. I don't enjoy things that don't bring me joy. Kingdom Hearts Coded is one of the worst games I have ever played in my life, and I am convinced that if Mario Kart Wii didn't exist, it would make me an alcoholic right now because it is a freaking abysmal freaking game that basically nothing works in. It's a retread of Kingdom Hearts 1. You literally just do the the same things 800 friggin' times. And the game has the gall to call itself a new game. Because, oh, it's a slightly different puzzle you have to navigate in the cable. Oh, you have to go through Olympus Coliseum, but it's like Final Fantasy now, instead of it being like an actual fun hack-and-slash RPG. Oh, you have to do these stupid mechanics to beat the same bosses you beat in Kingdom Hearts 1 and then Chain of Memories. That's one of the worst games I've ever played. I had it on DS. I destroyed the cartridge because I think that cartridge was demonic. I think the whole game was demonic. I don't go out of my way to buy bad games. I know there are people out there who will, or they'll just unintentionally be given bad games, like video game reviewers. Like, I'm not a video game reviewer. I'm a guy that just plays video games online. Like, my biggest pet peeves in games aren't the ones that are poorly designed. In my opinion, the games that I would give the most shit to would most likely be the ones that, like games that require you to buy extra things in order for you to actually play the game. Like, you know, any game that basically forces you to buy DLC and shit like that, those are the games that I can't friggin' stand. Those are the games that I literally, I cringe at when I deal with, like games, like, for example, DLC, I've mentioned this a lot of times. DLC in games should be stuff that's extra, that you don't need to have, but could help, but might be something you might be enticed to, like the DLC characters in Smash. You don't need them in order to have a good time. They're mostly there, so you may want to consider using. You may find that Kazuya is interesting. You may be a big fan of Tekken, so you may be like, hey, I want to use Kazuya. You may be a huge Kingdom Hearts fan and say, hey, I want to see Sora or Banjo or Sephiroth or any of these other characters that are the DLC characters in Smash. You may want them. It's not like a catastrophe for you to be interested in them. But games that require you like season passes and shit like that basically they basically lock the game for you to not be able to play, that frustrates me. That is what gaming is not supposed to be about. Especially games that get released in unfinished form and then give like patches to fix. What game did that? So a long time ago that pissed me off. Tony Hawk did that. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5 did that. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen because it didn't freaking work. Half the things that were supposed to be included in the game weren't included, and you needed to download a patch in order for it to be worth it. If you don't want to include something in the game, then don't include it in the game. Or if you want to include it in the game, you include it. I don't want to have to play through something and try to figure out if it's worth it or not. Like, there are DLCs. I remember there was a DLC for, what's it called? Some kind of DLC where it was like, you literally needed it in order to make progress in the story. And, oh my god, they're going to close the gap here. My team is shitting the bed. I'm going to basically single-handedly carry your team to victory if we're set to win this, and I died. Which means I'm not going to be in first. Oh, I'm still in first, okay. Because Bowser took his time. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, they're going to definitely get here. We did horribly there. Not too badly, but I'm literally carrying the team on my back right now.